This is Entrepreneurs Get Visible, the podcast for people who want more impact, influence, and income. I'm Anna Parker-Naples, and I'll be sharing with you proven methods from leading entrepreneurs that help you get visible as an authority in your field. Because anything's possible when you get visible.
Hey there, so I want to talk you through how not to pitch to podcasts. Now, as host of a popular entrepreneurship show, you cannot believe how many pitches I get on a daily basis, and I can spot ones who've not done their research a mile off. It's really obvious because it comes across as they actually don't care who they're writing to. I could be anybody. They are literally copying and pasting and just filling in the blank of the podcast's name. Now, there is nothing greater to switch a podcast host off because as podcast hosts, we put a lot of time, energy and attention into our show. It's not just a thing we do, it's a core part of our business. So if you're serious about pitching to podcasts and getting on some great podcast shows who have the right audience for your message, you've got to do your research and you've got to make sure that you are doing more than a standard copy and paste when you approach them. So I want to just share with you what for me would make a really poor email. So first of all, it wouldn't have my name in it. It would literally be "Hi!" I love your show. I've got this great guest who I'm representing. I'm his VA and he would be brilliant on your show. Maybe they've inserted the name of my show. Maybe they haven't because he has done this. He has done that. He has done this. He has done that. All his accolades, but absolutely no mention of what he brings to the table to share with my audience. Absolutely no mention of the many episodes and the much content that I've put out there. Not even a sense that they have looked at my website, that they have visited anything in regards to my show. All they have done is they have scoured iTunes or Spotify and literally clicked on my website and clicked to email me. It's incredibly lazy and it's actually a little bit rude. So if you're serious about getting onto shows, I cannot urge you more to do your research, to slow down, build that relationship with the podcaster, reach out to them on social media a few times, tell them that you like their show before going in for a heavy-handed pitch. Tell them what you like about the content, how a particular episode has changed something for your business. Let them know who you shared it with and why. Let them know what it was that spoke to you. And then once you've built up that rapport, even if they don't reply to you, most people are looking at their own accounts, whether it's on Instagram, LinkedIn or Facebook. Most people have at least one of those accounts, no matter how high profile they are. And they will start to recognise names coming up. So get in their communities and be present and be active, but not to push, not to want something, but be a good person. And then when you reach out to them in an email, you've already built that relationship. You're not a stranger to them anymore. Another great tip is to screenshot that you've left them a review and not do that review and then immediately send them an email. Just keep that and then keep that screenshot and then email them in a few weeks' time and say, "Oh, just wanted you to know I left this for you. I hope you've seen it because I love your show." Oh my God, we've all got egos. We love that stuff. But let them know the specifics of the impact their work has had on you. There is nothing worse than me being pitched by someone who's not listened to the show. But also you've got to think about, yes, you want on their show, but they don't need you. They've probably got people queuing around the block to come on the show. But what they do need is people who can deliver interesting and valuable content that their audience wants to hear. So if someone approached me and told me what they liked about my show, and then they said, "Look, I've been looking at your previous episodes, I've been looking at this, you've covered this particular topic, but you haven't done it from this angle. And I think it would help your clients, would help your listeners if they thought about it from this perspective. And I am the go-to person to speak about that because." So what's happened there is that they've led with value. And we talk about this all the time in content marketing. Lead with value, lead with the proposition, lead with the offer. Because then I've already started thinking, yeah, my audience would like that. That would be good for them. And yeah, I haven't covered that. There's a gap. And so then I'm kind of open. So the other thing is don't give up on the first attempt. I am so busy, as are many other podcasters. And so even if I've thought that's an interesting angle, but I don't really know them from Adam, I'm not going to jump in and go, yeah, let's do it. Follow up, but follow up with a nice email, non-aggressive, you haven't responded type attitude. And you never know where it's going to get you. But the other thing is to offer them something. Let them know that you would, if as a guest, when you are a guest, you will be sharing it with your audience. Let them know what that is, what those figures are, what those numbers are across your platforms. If you have a podcast yourself, how many listeners you have, what your connections are, your willingness to share it on your email list. Because let's face it, this is no surprise. Podcasters want, and particularly those in business, want their podcast to reach more ears. So if you have a similar but smaller audience than them, they want to get in front of them. So to start with, make sure when you are getting in touch with a podcaster to try and get on their show, you actually know what their show is about. You actually know what kind of content they cover. I've even heard of podcasters who have shows that don't even have guests, having people reach out to say, I'd be a great guest. Well, that's not the format of the show. So how on earth do you think that that's going to get you anywhere? It's just a waste of your time and their time. So do your research. And you know what? If you really want to be on someone's show and they've got a much higher profile than you, listening to an episode that's maybe 10 minutes long or a couple of 10-minute long episodes, well, if you really want to get in front of their audience of tens of thousands, that's the least you can do to kind of give something back to them. So I think you need to stop and think, what is the value that I want to bring? What is my topic of influence? What is the thing I can talk about that I genuinely know about, that I can genuinely bring value with, so that you're not just going, hey, I want to be on your show, because nobody's interested. But what people are interested in is you bringing value and information to the table. So I hope that that's been interesting. And I felt quite compelled to talk about this today because I don't know what people were doing over the weekend, but I've had about 20 people write to me today and it's very clear they've not listened to my show. I can spot the ones who have. I can spot them a mile off. And that's just me. I'm just one podcaster. So if you're serious about getting on those bigger shows, do your research, take your time, build a relationship and do it properly. Take this seriously, because any podcaster who's putting that time, effort and attention into their audience is not just going to put anybody on their show who hasn't done the legwork. So that's it for me. I hope that has made you stop and think. I also want to, inspire you that there are ways to approach people and it's not unachievable, but you've got to go about it in the right way. So stop and think. Who do I want to be speaking to? Who has those shows? And what can I do to, one, research their shows and two, build a relationship? Because being a podcast host, really, that's why you're looking for guests. You want to leverage those relationships as well. So I hope that that's been useful. I'm checking out now. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you for listening to Entrepreneurs Get Visible. To get your free checklist on how to raise your profile and to find out about our community, go to annaparkernaples.co.uk/get visible.